Hi Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 16th to the 31st, 2025 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, so thank you so very much for doing so. And if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, a healing, or a gift card, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It is listed in the description box below. Now let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Ooh, we have the Seven of Swords. We have the Knight of Swords. The Eight of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Queen of Wands, angels, and spirit guides. Oh, the Sun, I love that. The Two of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, angels, and spirit guides, and the Seven of Wands. Okay, so this is an intense time, not going to lie whatsoever, but it is also a beautiful time. And you are stepping into power and passion like you haven't before. But there is this sense of transformation that is really prevalent throughout this whole entire reading. At the heart of everything is the Seven of Swords. You're calling out lies. You're calling out deceptions. You're calling out things that are no longer true, that aren't true for you, that might never have been true. And also you can become very aware of things that people have said that you're like, that's not me. That's not what I want. That's not who I am. Or why did I let those words permeate into my soul, into myself, and dictate so much of me when it wasn't me? And so here you're taking knowledge that you want. You're leaving certain things behind, and you're going to have somebody who helps you along the way. Now, it might be simply an angel or a spirit guide. And I know that that might not seem like the type of help that you want. Or you might say, Dane, that's not maybe, that's everything to have that energy with you. Yes. But when you physically need somebody to help you, pick up a box, an angel and its spirit guide isn't quite as helpful as you would like them to be. So with the Seven of Swords, there is this sense of somebody who helps, but isn't always as helpful as you would like. Somebody who carries a load, that helps with a burden that can still feel overwhelming to you. So you're looking at things very differently than you have, and you're seeing yourself you're going to be very harsh on yourself. Okay, so you're not always going to be as kind as you should be. And you're going to be like, well, why didn't you see that? Oh my gosh, you're such a fool. You're not. You're not. There is a knowledge, a power, a purpose to you that is coming out during this time that was hidden before. Now, you are just going to want to run forward. Most definitely. There's the energy of the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is my hero energy. I love this card. But when the Knight of Swords is in the place of caution, hey, be mindful of this. The Knight of Swords is charge forward, moving forward. Any sort of movement will be better than sitting still. And that is not always the case at all. Sometimes you just do something and you're like, man, I should have waited like that. It would have been better to wait a bit. So just be mindful about that. You're also going to be very drawn to people who seem very sure of themselves. Like, oh, I know all of this. And a lot of that is going to be bravado. So being aware of that as well is going to be super important to you. Kind of stepping back and observe before jumping in. That's going to be a really good motto during the last half of October. With the Eight of Swords, of what you need to be aware of here, the energy to focus on, is freeing yourself from being too much in your own head. You kind of trapped yourself in there, as we tend to do as human beings, Scorpio. And it is overthinking, it is overanalyzing, it is, thinking that no matter which way you choose, you're going to make the wrong decision. That is not the case whatsoever. You're going to start to see that you're freeing yourself from the negativity of others, from trying to fit a mold that wasn't meant for you. And as you do so, you're realizing, I can take off the blindfold, right? I can break the seaweed. I can be free. Because here she's just doing what she's told, right? Stay here, because no matter which way you turn, you are going to be cut by swords. No matter what you do, you're in peril. And it's just not true. So being aware of that is super important. You're becoming aware of things that you just weren't aware of before. You didn't see it in that way. And now there's an illumination, there's an insight, there's an understanding. And it's all about a connection with the mind that is coming forward during this time. This sense of, even with the Knight of Swords, the challenge can be being your own hero. The challenge can be cutting through the doubts and the fears and really stepping into your power and not giving it away to somebody else. Scorpio, during this time, it's going to be really, really, really tempting to say, oh, solve this problem. And what Spirit wants you to do is to solve the puzzle yourself. You can get guidance, you can get inspiration, you can get insight from people, but you're solving the problem yourself. You're figuring, there we go, out the puzzle. And remember to walk forward in love and in kindness. Walk gently on this earth. And as you do so, there is wisdom and insight coming in. With the Four of Cups, this is the energy that is now leaving. And the energy that is leaving is that it has to be this certain way. It has to fit into this very certain box. And this very certain box is all well and good, but it wasn't the box that you were meant to fit into, or the things that were meant to happen. And so here, you're going to look at things and you're going to let it go. I also see like a bubble being burst. It's almost like, oh, I'll do this, or oh my gosh, do these people have all the answers, or that has the answer, and then the bubble was burst, and what you were focusing on, now you get pulled in a different direction, and you're like, oh, that was it. That was the knowledge that Spirit was bringing me. That is what I needed to know. And then as that knowledge comes forward, it brings you to your strength of the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is fire and passion and determination, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And what you're going to see here is that you're highly creative. You are highly instinctive during this time. Intuitive is going to be an absolutely beautiful word for you. And there is this sense of intuition and understanding guiding you. The Queen of Wands, the queens are the peace weavers. In medieval times, that was another name for a queen. They wove peace throughout lands. And we can kind of look at a queen and be like, well, what did you do? And that is because we tend to honor kings more. We tend to think, oh my gosh, they're so much more important. But they're not. They're not. They were important. They had their role. But a queen could ask for mercy when a king could not. A queen had to be astoundingly brave to go to another land and create a home in sometimes very hostile situations, a lot of times very hostile situations, and to do so with kindness and love. And so here, even if that was just the mask she was supposed to wear, but here, when we're not having to, go and be kings and queens, here, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, is that sense of passion, connection, of weaving peace in our lives through our passion, through what we desire. We are represented by the Queen of Cups. It's a much gentler energy the Queen of Cups brings, a much quieter connection with the heart. Here, it's taking the heart's gentle energy and it's weaving it forward with the passion of creativity, the passion of fire, determination, insight, and the passion of life, of what gets us out of bed in the morning. And so what you're doing is you're taking your soul and you're taking your soul's passion and you're bringing them together during this time in an exquisite way, in an empowering way, in a determined way. And it brings us then to the sun, which is the near future. And the sun is, they all live happily ever after, right? It is the happiest card in the whole entire deck. It is joy, it is success, it is beauty, it is triumph, it is a win. And so as you move into the future, what's very interesting is that you win. You're embracing your passion and you win. But the energy that comes forward is still the overthinking, overanalyzing, intense energy of the mind. So even as you win, what's going to be really important is to kind of pull off the cloak of self-recrimination, that I should have known this earlier. I should have done better. I should have, I could have, I would have. And Spirit is saying, but you're here now. It's like turn away from the things that held you back, move forward towards the blessing. I always think of the Four of Cups. I know I'm jumping back here as, you have these beautiful, golden jeweled cups and everybody wants to drink out of them. But then you have a hand carved cup from, wood that just seems like nothing. But what if that was the Holy Grail? Like, what if that was the most priceless, beautiful treasure? But it looked like something anybody could have made. It was rough and it wasn't as refined as we thought it should be. It's like a beautiful apple that we're looking at, but it's rotten in the middle. We don't know it yet. But the one that isn't as beautiful is sweet and luscious. And here, as we embrace our passion and our fire and our tenacity, we are letting the sweetness of our life and ourselves guide us forward in ways that we hadn't imagined before. And it brings us to the Two of Pentacles. Now, this is the advice. The advice is that, hey, listen, rocky waters have been around you, most definitely. Rocky waters have been here, and it has been overwhelming. And now you're needing to find your balance, and to find your harmony, and to say, this is what I want in myself. You're also going to be juggling a lot. It's going to be really, really easy, Scorpio, to add more and more on your plate, to become more and more overwhelmed, and to doubt the way that you can move forward, to doubt what it is that you really want and what it is that you're looking for. There's also deceit. So people are going to try and get away with things during this time. And it's going to be frustrating because you are trying to be nice and they are trying to take advantage. So being aware of that is super important. Finding balance, finding harmony, embracing prosperity, embracing success. This is where it is that you need to be. And the advice here is juggle what you need to juggle, but don't overload your plate. You're seeking deeper wisdom and you're moving forward into deeper wisdom. But deceits, like masks, are going to come forward. People who claim to have knowledge, but really have hollowness. That's what's going to come forward here. Lies, deceits, chaoses, especially in two ways during this time. It moves us then to the environment, and it is the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is quite interesting because the Eight of Cups has been taking on an evolution for me. The Eight of Cups, I once saw as just simply and strictly an ending as severe as a divorce. It was intense, it was overwhelming, it changed the course of the way that you defined yourself, even the way that you address yourself to the world, and it moved things in a direction that left rubble behind. But it doesn't have to. It doesn't need to be that way. The Eight of Cups is also a completion. It is saying, I have acquired these 8 cups as I needed to, and now it is time for another adventure. Now it is time for another journey. Now it is time for another way forward. And as you're embracing that journey, as you're embracing that way forward, as you're stepping into this transformative time, it brings you to the Five of Pentacles, which isn't necessarily the answer that is wanted, because the Five of Pentacles is fear around money. It's doubt, but also like apropos for everything that's going on. This is feeling like you're on the outside looking in. Wealth is made for other people. Wealth is gotten by other people. You will always fail. You will always make a mistake. You will always fall apart. And that is not true. If there was something in your heart that said yes, first of all, know that you are not alone. And secondly, know that this is not true. There's an energy that walks beside you. It might be a person who is your greatest fan, but again, they feel like work. Like you need to take care of them in some way or another. There's this sense of like, oh, how do I, like, yeah, they don't just come in like the white knight that we want to save it all. But they walk beside you, and they will always walk beside you. No matter what shape, form, kind of like incarnation of spirit they take. They'll always be there with you. And there is this sense of you don't necessarily follow the rules. So I see this as, well, as we have a cross right here, right? This is like the cemetery outside of a churchyard. And it could be like, I'm supposed to turn in there and I'm supposed to get help and connection and it's supposed to be right, but it isn't. And it doesn't mean not to go to church. If that's your thing, do so, absolutely. But it's the sense of not conforming, of the conformity or the way that it was done. It's not the way that you will be doing it, the way that you will be moving forward in the wealth and prosperity of your life. So if you try to open the door in that very conventional way, it will not open for you. But if you open the door to the power of your heart and you say to yourself, I am blessed, and you mean it, like from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, I am blessed and I am prosperous. And not leave that with any sort of caveat of like, oh, it doesn't have to be money or anything like that. No, I am blessed and I am prosperous. And my path, unfolds before me. And you can even add in wealth and in abundance. And you see the tides change. You see yourself opening up. But the fear is that you will always be on the outside, judged and looking in on what doesn't fit and what will not be. And this is a time where you release negativity around money, around what you value as much as money, and you're setting yourself free in the most exquisite of ways. And the Seven of Wands is like, hey, be aware. Be aware that you can spend this whole time fighting battles that when you look back at it, you're like, well, what the heck was that for? That didn't do anything for me. Choose the battle wisely. Embrace the prosperity and success that you want in your life. And stand up, yes, for what your soul believes and what you stand for. But do not let the chaos of the world pull you in to anger, frustration, and pettiness, because it is time to shine. And it is time to rise above a lot of doubts that you have had, a lot of fears that have weighed you down. And you've come to a lot of conclusions. Like, you've worked through things and you've gone through kind of like a dark night of the soul. But people haven't seen it. Or if people saw it, it's like, well, you weren't fighting anything, but it was an internal battle. And it brings you then to your spirit message. And the internal battles are a lot of times, the hardest. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. This is compassion, and it's showing yourself compassion. It is embracing compassion to this world that seems so chaotic and rough and gruff at times. It brings us then to the chakra energy of angels and spirit guides. Flexibility. This is the sacral chakra. And with the flexibility, with the sacral chakra, it's our creativity, it's our sensuality, and it's being flexible within your soul, within yourself, of not having to have that rigidity of it has to be just like this. You're turning away, and you've seen it in the near past, right? Like, it was like yesterday when it was like, oh, it had to be like this. And now that construct is crumbling, and you're opening up to new ideas, and you're also having like a strictness with yourself, right? Like a schedule or a way to do things, a strictness of like what needs to be done. But you're opening up to new ideas and new energies that move you forward so exquisitely. It brings us then to the subconscious, not the subconscious, but it brings us then to the energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading. And we have two. Yeah, we have the Two of Swords and the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords is, again, these are the swords. This is the mind. During this time, it is going to be the mind that can box you in and keep you held back, Scorpio, because you're going to have a tendency to overthink, to overanalyze, but also to take it all on like it's all your fault. And it's not. With the Two of Swords here, it's getting very stuck on, you can walk this path or you can walk this path. That's it. This is the way forward. This is how everybody does it. You are going to do things differently. It's not wrong. It's just different. And with the Queen of Swords, when she's in her negative state, oh my gosh, she's a witch with a B. Like, seriously, she really, really is. She is mean. She is cruel. She knows exactly what to say to just cut you right to the heart. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. This is the energy from others. This is the energy also internally that can come forward, and you can just cut yourself down before you even got out of bed. Be very mindful of this, and be very mindful who you are listening to during this time, Scorpio. It moves us then to the subconscious spirit message, which is balance. You are finding balance within the world. You are finding balance within yourself. And as you do so, the subconscious chakra message is creativity. You are creating the world that you want. This is, again, the sacral chakra, but you are flooded during this time with creativity. So much so that you can overthink it, you can overanalyze it, it can get too much, and you can almost feel like it was wasted, but it wasn't, even if you don't do anything with the creativity that is flooding you now. Okay? You will. You will. It'll be stored up inside of you, and it will come forward so exquisitely. But here, subconsciously, let yourself create, let yourself connect. It moves us then to the subconscious energy to be mindful of. This is the Two of Cups, healing. This is going to be a person who talks about healing in the way that your soul is really looking for. But they just perpetuate more wounds. This isn't a soulmate, it's a wound mate. And this person will feel really, really comfortable because they're the pains you know. They're the things that you're like, oh, yeah, this is what love is, because it was broken love before. But there's a sense of like needing to release that. And it's going to be a little bit difficult. It can be a little bit tricky with that one. But here it is releasing broken love. And it's like, no, you don't get to define me. It brings you then, to the subconscious. Again, it's the mind that comes forward, heartbreak and pain. Here, it is the subconscious energy to be mindful of, is that a wound mate will come forward and they will bring up with the Three of Swords all the pain that you have been through before and make you think, oh my gosh. Now, this doesn't have to be a romantic partner. This could be somebody who just comes into your life and they could be like, oh my gosh, they're my best friend now. Like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. I love this. And they just devastate you because they are manipulative and they know the wounds, right? They know how to play the game and they will play it quite well. Be very mindful about this during this time, because there is such exquisiteness here. There is such power here. There's such beautiful creativity and passion and determination that leads you forward. And you're leaving behind, you're taking off this cloak, you're leaving behind all the heaviness and darkness of the past and stepping into a new light and into a new beauty. And it's like time for it. It's so time for it. But the wounds can come forward. It's kind of like having, it's kind of like pushing yourself too far, right? And having your knee give out, or, having an old injury come forward and stop you when you were just getting, you felt like you were just getting going. So here, just be very mindful about this. And you're going to want to internalize it. Don't just be like, no, this is not right, right? I do not want this energy. And you set yourself free. Okay. All right, Scorpio, that was intense. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. I hope you have a absolutely blessed end of October, a blessed life, and a happy Halloween. Bye.